Oh, hello again. Um, Gonna do some more talk about what's wrong and all that stuff. Well, let me give you some light. Sorry about that. Um, anyway, brief, brief personal update. Mercedes is being detailed. Well, will be detailed tomorrow. I thought it was going to start today. It'll be started tomorrow, and simultaneous to this, I need to get paperwork up to Idaho so I can get the title cleared for the Tiger, and that should be all set. So I'm happy about that. The next thing I can do is start buying a boat. Still waiting to hear back from the Russian embassy for permission to cross the Northeast Passage. Anyway, back to more pertinent matters. Excuse me, I got nose hair on my nose for whatever. So I had another epiphany realization yesterday. Pretty profound, very seriously profound this time. Just rather unbelievable. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, and you'll probably imagine the same thing when you hear it. But the thing that's got me going here is the question, where does profit come from? And no one ever asks, where does profit come from in capitalism, in our market economy? Well, for a profit to occur, there must be a loss. This is simple equation, simple algebra. One side of the equation must equal the other. If one person gains $500, someone must lose $500. Profit, that's exactly how it works. Well, we have a system where capitalists are the only ones who can make profit because they're the only ones with capital. And they have control of the resources. So you have a corporate economy that profits. An economy that profits. Well, what does this economy profit from? Where do these people get their profit? From you and me. Okay. Well, where do we get the money to provide this profit? Well, from our labor. Well, where does our labor come from? From resources. We perform labor upon resources so that corporations can have profit. We, as a society, provide our economy with a labor resource so that it can profit from us. This is a fact, okay? Follow me here. We, the citizens, the members of the society in America, for example, provide labor upon our own resources so that we can give the economy profit at our expense. Economic growth means societal loss. Profit, loss. Growth, loss. There's give and take. There has to be. Economic growth cannot just exist. There has to be a mechanism by which it exists. And it is either using up resources, using labor, or just plain using up society. So, we have an economy based on petroleum. That's the only major resource, the energy, the input to our economy. We use our labor to refine that and produce usable energy. And then we use the rest of it to make cheap plastic shit so that we can have even more profit. It's completely illogical and irrational when you think about it this way. When you step outside of our system and you think about how it works, it's stupid. It's completely illogical, irrational, nonsensical. Makes no sense. To have the society benefit the economy, we're the ones that are important. The Constitution, written by us. The laws, written for us, by us, for our benefit. Where the fuck does the economy come in? These people, these corporate raiders, whatever you want to call them, have taken themselves out of society and become, they say, they believe, they think, whatever, our gods, our kings, our leaders, our rulers. They're not. They're our destroyers. These people come in and sweep through and just destroy things. in the name of profit. And profit to them is loss to us. So every time you hear that word profit, think about what you're losing. What are you losing so that someone else can gain profit? And when you profit from something, who loses? And yes, there are a couple of definitions of profit. Profit is as simple as I buy this Mercedes for $1,500, I put $800 parts into it, and I sell it for what I got plus my labor. That's a form of profit. That's fair profit. But what I'm doing is I am taking advantage of people's addiction to celebrity, and I'm using propaganda to convince them that this is worth more than it is, and I'm using market value principles to and I'm aligning all of those principles so that I can make profit. I plan on selling this car for $10,000 to $20,000. If I get 25, it'd be great. But where is the justification for that? Who's losing money? Well, someone somewhere is. I'm profiting off of the loss that Mike Connors took when he traded it in. But the Mercedes dealer that took the trade-in profited. So you can see it's very convoluted, very confusing where all this profit comes from. And it's just more and more losses. Every time there's profit, there's loss. Every time there's profit, there's loss. And every time there's profit, there's loss to society, even if it's just an inefficiency. Profit's not good. There's no benefit to profit. It's not a proper motivator. A properly educated person doesn't have to be motivated by profit or any other mechanism like that. Those of you out there who think that capitalism is great because it motivates people to get off their asses and do stuff, don't realize that it's just about education. If people knew better, they'd get off their ass and do stuff on their own. It's simply because they don't know better. And it's simply because we haven't taught them better. If someone fails at society, if someone fails to be a contributor to society, it's because we failed them. Not because they failed. Not because they made a conscious decision to go against the rules. It's because they don't know that going against the rules is a bad idea. Or they wouldn't do it. The only people that can truly make poor decisions are those who are irrational. And the only way we can have irrationality is if we raise someone to be irrational or disease occurs. And disease not including what we do to people. So if you think about mathematically how many cases, how many possible, out of a population of X amount, what percentage could actually be diseased, naturally diseased, to cause them to not make rational decisions? It's very close to zero. Very close to zero. We should have a completely law-abiding society that's completely self-motivated, but we don't. And why? Because we have failed as a society to educate our members. That's all. That's all we've done. We failed to bring people up to their potential. We failed to have a program in place. We failed to have medicine and psychology and education that adequately teach and train people how to be people. That's all that's wrong. So, anyway, something to consider. Where does profit come from? It comes from loss. Where does economic growth come from? It comes from the destruction of society. Answers a lot of questions, doesn't it?